Welcome to MCSI Cybersecurity Institute's YouTube channel. My name is Benjamin Mosse and I'm the founder of the Institute. And today I'd like to share with you the top 3 reasons that I think are the top reasons why organizations are having such a difficult time managing cyber risks and defending their networks. Now let me just have a bit of a disclaimer here. I've not run a survey across thousands of organizations to ask their opinion about this, but my company has worked with over 500 Australian organizations in the last 9 years. And so I think that out of this work, I've gained some insights, and I've certainly heard the same stories again and again and again come up that I think explain why cyber security is so difficult for most enterprises. So let's get into it. Reason number 1 that I hear and I see again and again and again is bureaucracy. Okay, just to give you an example, we go straight to the point. We once did work for a corporate organization that offers IT services to the Victorian government. And we were engaged to help them go through a process called the CAB process. In short, what that is that because the assets belong to the Victorian government, to make any changes on these assets, you have all of the different government agencies that need to approve those changes. Now, we were engaged to obtain approval for high and critical Windows vulnerabilities to be patched. And some of these vulnerabilities had exploits in Metasploit available for anybody to just point, click, and exploit. Now, the CAB process to patch 400 machines took 18 months. Okay, 18 months to pull the trigger really on fixing vulnerabilities that are obvious. Any security professional will tell you, don't run systems that are vulnerable to vulnerabilities with exploits in Metasploit. It is just absolutely, simple to make that argument. But yet, when these simple things get confronted with, red tape and many levels of approval, and now many people need to look and understand the problem to give their stamp on, go ahead for something like this. It takes even something that is straightforward, very easy to do. It just actually makes it very complicated. And so that leads me into the second reason as to why I think cybersecurity is so difficult for most organizations to manage, is that there's an enormous amount of decision paralysis. So the moment you want to do anything in an enterprise network, you're going to find that there are 20 stakeholders. Every stakeholder has their own view on what you want to do, why it's a good idea, why it's a bad idea, why you need to change it, what you need to change, why we need to look at other options. If there are political angst between people, and they'll try and get a revenge between themselves or fight themselves over cybersecurity decisions. And so when you put all of this together, you find that even basic decisions that honestly, one person should just make the call, will actually take 6 months or a year, or sometimes 2 years or more for them to say yes to, even when there is no red tape to go ahead, even when there's no impact on any of the systems. So decision paralysis is a major problem that I see. And thirdly, and that really comes on top of those 2 other reasons, is that I think that cybersecurity decision making is completely different than all other types of IT decision making, and that a lot of executives and managers have never received any kind of formal training on what is good decision making for cybersecurity. And so what ends up happening is that when a CIO needs to make the call to spend $150,000 to, let's say, investigate a major event on their network, well, it takes them weeks, months to agree to do that. Even if for us, the security professional, it's really obvious. For them, they're going to approach the topic in a way that really has no cybersecurity backing to it. So something very common that I see is that, if they have a problem, they just want to figure out what product they need to buy to fix that problem. Cybersecurity doesn't work like that. You're facing an adversary that will change their tactics and their strategies on the fly to bypass your cyber defenses. You need to think like that as well. Another thing is that, in enterprise environments, there's so much politically driven decision making that happens that, one of the worst stories that I've ever seen in my career is when we sat down with an executive who knew with 80% certainty that his network was compromised, but decided not to go ahead with an investigation because he was concerned about his personal reputation if that happened. And number two, he was concerned at the time his company was looking for investors. They were concerned that this piece of information would also affect how their company gets valued, which is completely legitimate. But now you're seeing how an executive is making, is placing certain priorities over cybersecurity priorities. And so when you put all these reasons together, bureaucracy, decision paralysis, and the fact that the people who need to make the decisions don't even really understand cybersecurity in the first place, well, it just makes it impossible for an organization to succeed. It almost doesn't matter how much you spend on cybersecurity. It may be better if you spend more, but it may not make a difference, in my opinion. So, sorry to deliver the sad news over YouTube, but these are the 3 reasons why I think cybersecurity is not going away anytime soon. I don't also have any easy solutions for these problems. I think that's why cybersecurity is so complex. It probably has nothing to do with the complexity of the malware or the attack sophistication. All that stuff, I think that really smart engineers are able to resolve. But all the enterprise challenges that I've just presented to you, I think, are the real problems, are the real things that are actually preventing an organization from properly defending itself. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the bell. We're going to keep publishing insights into the Australian market that we defend here at Moses Security, and we look forward to seeing you on our channel. Thank you.